Hello, other members of the Rainy Day Writing Guild and people who are just stopping by to watch us. This week our topic is how we prepare to write, and I'll be talking specifically about how I prepare to just have one writing session. Before I get into that, I wanted to thank Joyce specifically in her video this week for mentioning how calming my video was. There was a bit of an unintended ASMR effect to it, and I think it's because I'm using this really cheap microphone that came from some American Idol game for my Wii, but it's all I have. When I sit down to write, I like to find somewhere comfortable to sit. Normally I like to sit on a couch or a chair that has like an end table right next to it so I can set my coffee or other writing supplies. Like I mentioned in my video last week, I hate the sound of silence, so I always want to have music playing in the background. I don't really pick anything specific to writing. I don't really have a writing playlist. I just listen to the same songs on shuffle that I play any other time. Sometimes I will go through and find something that's a similar beats per minute, I guess, to the vibe that I want. So if I'm writing a really slow, sad scene, then I'll listen to slow songs. Or if it's a very fast-paced action scene, I want to listen to upbeat songs to kind of get me into the vibe. But the genre doesn't really tend to change based on what I'm writing. As far as writing with other people, I do enjoy writing with other people, but it's probably best for my productivity and theirs if I write alone. I'm very chatty and I'm very easily distracted, and those don't really bode well for if you want to have a really good writing session and get a lot of work done. Another thing I have to do before I sit down and have a writing session is really make sure that I've tried to eliminate as many excuses or distractions for getting up from writing. For me, it's really easy when I'm finding it hard to write something to go, well, I do have this other thing to do, and then just stop and I get no work done. So I try and eliminate those as much as possible. As far as the actual writing goes, preparing for that, I'm pretty much exclusively a seat of my pants kind of writer. There really isn't a whole lot of planning, and I have to stop myself from doing research sometimes because it's very, very easy to go down like a Wikipedia rabbit hole, like Guy mentioned in his video yesterday, and it's really easy for me to start going, well, I've researched this one thing, so now I have to research all of these things, and before I know it, I've got a research paper on like 18th century England or something, and it's just too much. Going back to distractions, one of my major distractions is actually trying to hunt down names. I have to stop myself from looking up names because I get so distracted trying to find the perfect one or look up the meanings or try and fit in some foreshadowing. So I just have to put first name, last name, and I'll put it in all capitals and I'll highlight it and then I'll deal with it later. And honestly, I think that's about all that I personally do to write. I really don't prepare for it. I just kind of go, I'm gonna write now, and try and eliminate distractions, get somewhere comfortable, but that's really as far as I go, because if I make it too complicated on myself, I'm not going to sit down and write. And for me, I think the hardest part is actually getting started, saying, okay, it's time to write, I need to sit down and I'm going to do this. Before I go this week, I just wanted to talk about everybody's videos for the past week. Joy and Guys, I'll talk about their videos from this week. Joy, I absolutely love your office setup. Every time I go there, you can very much tell that it's a writer who lives there. Guy, your sketch and your artwork is amazing and it absolutely always blows me away. Jake, I love your commuter face. I too love to sleep on buses and pretty much anywhere I can. Brandon, I think it's amazing you love to write outside in nature. I wish I was one of those people who did actually enjoy that, but for me there's too many bugs and I get grossed out. Lydia, your editing was absolutely fantastic of your video, and it just put my Windows Movie Maker to shame. And Devin, your video had me cracking up, and I especially loved your grammar and editing lessons, and also thanking Jesus for our free will. And that's the end of my video for this week. Tomorrow you get to hear from Jake about how he prepares to write, and I'll put a link at the end of this video so you can watch some of our other videos and hear from some other people. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next week.